Welcome to the Joyride podcast. I am so excited that you are here with me today. My name is Rebekah Joy. I'm a life coach, a motivational speaker, and your host. This is a space where we get real, we get raw, and we certainly are getting very honest with ourselves. Here we're talking about real growth. I'm talking the kind that changes how you see yourself, how you trust yourself, and how you decide to move throughout your life. We are exploring confidence, embodiment, intuition, identity, wellness, and the inner work behind real life transformation. You do not need to have it all figured out to be here because trust me, I certainly don't. There is no pressure to perform or become something or someone else. This podcast is meant to feel like home. It's a place where you can come back to and settle in and feel seen and celebrated and really reconnect with what matters most to you. So if you are ready to live with more alignment, certainty, and self-trust, you're exactly in the right place. So let's begin. Hello to you, my beautiful listener. Oh, how I have missed you because it feels like it's been so long since I've recorded a podcast episode. So we are back, baby. This is what feels like the long-awaited Miami episode. If you are caught up with my previous episodes, which, girl, you should be. If you have not listened to the past 2 episodes, please go and listen to the last 2 after you finish this one, of course, because those episodes are going to help you navigate this energy that we are navigating through right now because, girl, I know that it's a lot. It has been chaotic, it has been crazy, it has been confusing, but it's also been really expanding, and there are so many shifts happening for me in my life right now, and I know that there are massive shifts happening for you as well. So please do yourself a favor and make sure that you go back and listen to the last 2 episodes because I promise that they will give you so much clarity and reassurance during whatever it is that you are navigating through right now. So with today's podcast episode, I am so excited to be back on the mic and sharing all about my Miami experience. So if you don't already know, which you should know by now, I am moving to Miami. This has been something that has been a long time coming. It's been this vision, this dream, this desire in my body for well over a decade, but I'm now in the position where it's becoming real, like really, really, really real. And I just spent about 10 days in South Florida. I did this huge road trip that I had been planning for quite a few months, and I didn't know when I was planning it that it would be falling under the umbrella of being in eclipse season and being right smack dab in the middle of Mercury retrograde. But being the master that I am of my connection to myself, over time, I used to be really ruled by astrology. It's not something that I don't want to say that I'm not proud of, but there was a time in my journey when I felt really caged in by astrology information, by human design information, which I never want anyone to feel that way. But being a teacher, being an expert in these fields, I've spent a lot of time doing not just the research, but really embodying these systems and this information on myself and in my own life. And there definitely was a time when I was just feeling really caged in by this information. Specifically, I think a lot of us may have felt that way at some point when it comes to astrology, especially if you are someone that, is really up to date with the astrological transits and what's happening. During the span over the past 7 months of me living in North Carolina, I have really taken a step back from outsourcing my information. This is also something that I talked about in the last few episodes, and I think it's really, really important as someone who, is here to give information to other people. I see myself as a direct channel. I am very much so connected to God, the universe. I am here to relay messages, and my wisdom, through me and to you. I feel like it is such a privilege to be able to be in this position, to be able to do so, right? But, I think we can all sometimes get a little too caught up in the information that is accessible to us. And I never want anyone in my aura, in my energy to ever, feel that way, because I definitely have gone through it in the past. So over the past 7 months, I have been really, really pulling back when it comes to the outside information that I am getting. And, in that, I have been really pulling back on how much astrology, research I am doing on me personally. I feel like I went a little ham over the past few weeks, but it was more so for research purposes, because I wanted to make sure that I was giving you really accurate information, because what we are currently processing and what we're currently navigating through is, some may say, like really heavy astrology. There are just so many things happening right now. So with that being said, when I planned this trip, I knew, well, intuitively, it kind of just worked out that I was planning it at the very beginning stages of this big shift, moving from the year of the snake to the year of the fire horse. And I really, really felt that energetically, like this is such a powerful time for me to be going on this trip. But I want to, first of all, mention, before we get into my experience and the messages that came through for me and what I'm here to share with you, is that, astrology, human design, all these systems are amazing, but they are all tools, right? Like your inner truth, your inner guidance trumps all of this shit, right? So I think, we need to understand that we can use it to supplement. And what's really cool that I found within my own personal path is that there are so many connections that I never even knew I was making when it comes to like the timing of things and just when I decided to launch things or do things that truly coincide with whether it's my personal astrology or collective astrology, which just shows me that like I know what the fuck I'm doing, right? Like I've been in this work for a very, very long time. I've been doing so much research and studying and all of these things. So it's really cool for me to sit back time and time again and be like, yep, that just confirms that you are psychic, that you are gifted, that you can really fully trust in yourself and in your own timing. Because we never want to stop ourselves from doing something, from going somewhere, from putting ourselves out there because it conflicts with the personal astrology or the timing of something else. We need to take full autonomy over the timing of our own lives, but then also treat these events that are happening, with grace. So for me, coming into this trip, I was like, I'm fully aware that it's eclipse season and that Mercury is in retrograde. Listen, your girly pop over here, I'm a Virgo sun, Gemini moon. Those two planets are ruled by Mercury. So I was just sitting over here like, I know that this trip is going to be so amazing for me. I love eclipse season. I've talked about this many times on the podcast. Eclipse seasons truly catapult me in my life, and I'm so beyond grateful for them. So I came into this trip with really solid and really grounded energy. And I want you, as you are navigating the next few months, to understand that your vision, your knowing, your certainty trumps everything out there. But we can also understand that we are able to work with this energy. So I knew that, there may be blips that come up. There may be things that, kind of, force me to pivot or adapt. And I'm okay with that. I came into it knowing that not everything is going to be perfect, that there may be slip ups, and I may have some down moments and down feelings. But let me tell you, this trip surpassed every single one of my expectations. And I know with 150% certainty that this city that I will be moving to is the right place for me. And it felt so damn good to be there and to fully sink into all of the sensations and all of the feelings that I was experiencing and to know that I am making the right decision. So that's the topic of today's episode. Yes, I will divulge all of the details of my Miami experience, but there was one universal theme that was really coming to the forefront for me as I was in Miami and just in South Florida in general. And that theme was, when you are in the right environment as a feminine, intuitive woman, the things that you want in your life, your goals, your dreams, your desires, your big vision for what you want in your life, those things are going to feel so much closer. They are going to feel so attainable. They are going to truly feel like those things are possible. When I was in Miami, immediately I felt peace. I felt feminine. I felt in flow. I felt all of these things that I have been wanting and working towards for such a long time. And things truly felt so easy for me. I was manifesting like a motherfucker. I would think one thing and the next day it would show up. I mean, things truly felt possible for me there. And the connection that I made with that was and is, okay, if I am feeling peaceful and I feel easeful and I feel feminine and I feel like I don't have to work as hard, I don't have to try as hard, I don't have to manipulate myself to doing something and forcing myself, then that means that I am in the right place. I am in the right environment for me. And that is so incredibly important. Sometimes we forget how important our environments are because we just become comfortable. We become comfortable, maybe things are easier for us because people are doing things for us. Or, the lifestyle that we're living is something that, maybe just easy for us. Maybe we have a partner that's taking care of us, or a family that's taking care of us, or parents or friends or whatever. And, in other situations, we may be a little too comfortable in a situation in working really hard to get the things that we want. There is comfort in that because within that, the comfortability is also feelings of familiarity, and a lot of times we make that connection between, okay, I'm working super hard to sustain myself, and that really feels comfortable for me because this is something that my system and my body has just gotten used to. But just because you've gotten used to something, just because you've become acclimated to it, what if that's not the ideal environment for you? Have you just trained yourself to work super, super, super hard because it's what you've always done? Or maybe you've moved somewhere new and you've convinced yourself, I'm comfortable here. This'll do for me. It doesn't check off every box, but I guess it'll do. I am here to tell you, fuck no. Absolutely fucking no. Coming from someone who has spent a lot of their life working super hard to feel really, really good. Someone who has been in environments that have not truly been aligned for me. So I have had to work 10 times harder in order to make myself feel good. And it's always been a dream of mine, truly. Sometimes being a Virgo sun especially, I am so attuned to my health, to my wellness, to doing all of the rituals and routines and practices. And I love all my little things. But I do dream about living in a world where I wake up and I don't have to do all these things to feel good. And that's been a hard pill to swallow because, you can definitely become a little obsessive with all the things that you're doing because you're like, well, if I'm not doing these things, then I simply won't feel good. And so being in Miami, feeling so good, feeling so connected to my truth, feeling so connected to my authentic self, feeling so connected to my aligned self, I was like, I don't need to be working as hard as I do because being in this environment allows me to feel good. Just being here, just existing here. If I don't do anything else, I will feel good. But on top of that, because I've spent so long figuring out what are the things that I get to do to make myself feel good in an unaligned environment, now putting myself in an aligned environment, it has allowed me to strip back so much, to really refine, what are the things that I get to do that are just the cherry on top. Do you understand where I'm getting at here? It's like being in the ideal environment, you will feel so good. You will feel like anything that you want is possible. No dream is too big. No vision is too big. I do not give a flying fuck what your parents think, what your friends think, if people think you're batshit fucking crazy for wanting the things that you want. This is something that I'm so passionate about because I am such an unconventional person, and I've definitely, not necessarily have had to water myself down, but in order to keep myself safe, in order to keep my visions, protected and sacred, a lot of the times I feel like I have to keep those dreams, to myself, because so many people are just comfortable living in an environment that doesn't suit them, living a lifestyle that is not what they genuinely want. And so Miami, not only did it really wake me up, but it also just felt so right. Things clicked. Being there, I'm like, this is me. This is the version of me that I've always wanted for myself, that I've always dreamed of becoming and being. And there, I felt so expanded. I felt so inspired. I was surrounded by the most beautiful women who, let me tell you something, woman to woman, there is nothing better than being around a fine-ass woman who you just know you're like, ooh, I'm trying to get on this girl's level. Like here in North Carolina, exactly where I am, listen, these bitches ain't it. And you know what? That may sound mean. If I have any women from North Carolina, specifically like the Raleigh area listening to this, girls, you better step it the fuck up because you are giving me nothing. I don't feel any energy anywhere that I go. Not in a Pilates class, not in a coffee shop, not at the beautiful outdoor mall. I'm getting nothing. And let me tell you something, that has been driving me batshit crazy because I feed off of energy. One of the most important things to me in Austin was I never felt alone. I always felt inspired and motivated because of the energy that was surrounding me, and I loved it, especially because in my 20s, I really was in this era of personal development and self-growth and self-discovery, and I was all about health and wellness and spirituality. I was not focused on becoming a partner, becoming a wife, becoming a mother, that was not my focus. I didn't care about getting a home and just, I was trying to do me, girl. I was like, I just want to figure out who I am, what I like, what I don't like. I started my business. It was all about me. But in this space, especially in the beginning, definitely towards the end, I started to not feel good in this environment. Austin was literally kicking me out because it was like, girl, you are not supposed to be here anymore. You are ready to up level the shit out of your life. But when I first moved there, I was so excited because you can literally feel the energy of the land and you can feel the energy of the people. And that is a non-negotiable on my list. So let's stop here. While we're on the topic of environment, I want you can write this down on your phone, or you can just pause this episode after I say this, but I want you to think about what your ideal environment is. Who's there? What's the energy like? When you're driving down the street and you hear music, what music are they playing? Are you somewhere close to the beach? Are you in the mountains? Are you in the forest? Are you in the desert? Are you in the Midwest? Where are you physically? And what do your surroundings look like? This is so, so important. Now, when you think about the people that motivate you, the people that you want to be surrounding yourself by, what are they doing? Are these people living a very chill life where they're focused on the simple things? They spend a lot of time with their family. These people are going to church, doing very holistic things. Or are you in like a crazy energetic city where there are concerts and raves and events and fine dining and like you get to define what your ideal environment is like. And if you are on the younger side, if you're in your early 20s, I will say that this is such a pivotal time for you because you're able to experiment. I think one of the greatest things about, when you graduate college and all of your friends are separated and one's in New York and one's in Arizona and one's here and one's traveling Europe and one's there. It's like when you go and visit your friends, for me, because all of mine coincidentally went to like really cool places, which love that for me, I was able to put myself in all of their environments and really temp check, how do I feel here? Because of course, your desires and what you value will drastically change. At least mine definitely did. Like, in high school, I always thought, okay, after college, I'm probably going to move to LA. Miami would pop up in my head, but I had never gone to Miami, so I never really knew. But I knew that I wanted to be in a city. I just had this knowing that I wanted to be surrounded by people who, could motivate me and inspire me. And I just had this like pull towards being around high vibe type of energy. And for me, high vibe type of energy really correlates to big cities. So I think like New York, Chicago, Austin, LA, Miami, like those types of places. But at the time, being a Cancer rising back in the day, I loved the thought of being around this type of energy, these high vibes, positive vibes. But it also felt really overwhelming to me at the time. So there's no way in hell that I could have just graduated college and moved to Miami. My system would not have been able to sustain the lifestyle that I now know that I'm totally ready for, which is really, really important for us to remember. Because as we become stewards of our own life and, we become wiser, we grow older, because of course some people grow older and like don't become wiser and they don't change and nothing progresses in their life. But if you're listening to this episode, you probably don't fall into that category. So, you probably are someone who every year you gain new insights and you are progressing on your self-development journey and you're learning more about yourself. Who is my authentic self? How have my values and priorities changed, right? So just know that the ideal environment for you is going to change, but I really want you to start becoming really conscious of what is it that I'm feeling in these environments? What side of me comes out in these environments? What do I feel without actually thinking about what I feel? What is just like naturally coming up for me and my body? This is so, so important for us because so many of us are navigating this path right now where we are moving to new cities and our environments are changing. And that doesn't need to mean like you're moving to an entirely new city. That could mean like I'm creating this new environment within my friendships. I'm creating this new environment within my career. Maybe I'm switching careers. Your environment is everywhere. But at the end of the day, the place where you are living and, where you are calling home, that is so, so, so important for you because you deserve to be somewhere that makes you feel really good. You deserve to be in an environment where you feel like whatever it is that you want in your life is possible. I cannot stress this enough. You do not need to work harder than you're already working. I know that you are working so hard to make your dreams come true. And I say all of this with so much love because living with my parents for the past 7 months, as I have been, restructuring my foundations, restructuring my belief systems, it has taken a lot for me to keep my desires and what I want for myself in my life. It has taken a lot for me to keep those things in a really sacred position. Let me tell you, it's just hard. If I was living in a big, beautiful city already, I know that I wouldn't be feeling this way. So I know that I've had to work 10 times harder in order to make myself feel good. And listen, when it comes to feeling good, We attract everything in life based on our energy. I have always believed that. I have seen that in myself play out time and time again with literally everything in my life. I know that people come to me based on my heart and based on my energy. It is 100% because of that reason. It's not because of any specific skill. It's not because of, a certain certification or what school I went to. No. People are attracted to you because of your energy. So work on your energy first. When you become so deeply connected to what is it that makes my energy so attractive to people? And listen, that's going to be different for every single person, right? Like, I'm a Cancer rising, so I have had many people tell me, you make me feel safe, you make me feel seen, you make me feel heard. But I'm also really charismatic and witty, and I have so much confidence within me. And so a lot of people are attracted to me because they're like, I love how confident you are. I want to be confident in myself. So we all attract everything in our life because of the energy that we cultivate within us. So when you are really rock solid in that, you are able to put yourself in environments and recognize, this makes me feel good. This makes me feel a certain type of way. This doesn't make me feel good. And there are so many places that I go to where I'm like, oh, this place is so cool, and I love this side of me that comes out. For example, the first time that I went to Chicago, I was doing a partnership with the Soho House there. I got invited, and I took my best friend with me, and we loved it. I'm like, oh my God, am I moving to Chicago? The vibe there was so cool. People in the Midwest, first of all, are so just like naturally, effortlessly cool. So nice, so giving. The vibe that it brought out in me was like this bougie, bad bitch, like cool side of me. Just like cool and like just like luxurious and just like artsy. And I loved it. Okay. So I can really connect to that side of me that was brought out in that environment. But because I have self-awareness and because I know what Chicago weather is like, I'm like, okay, this was such a vibe. And I could see myself taking trips here if I wanted to tap into that energy and bring that energy back home with me to wherever I am settled, right? Because we totally have the ability to do that. It's really cool when you put yourself in a certain environment and that certain side of you comes out, but we also forget that we can bring that energy home with us. And what's cool is that energy can be like basically turned on at any given point. We just have to remember what it felt like to be in that environment. But Chicago gets hella freaking cold in the winter, and I would never put myself through that. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is a place that I can come back to sporadically when I want to feel a certain type of way. I love the people, I love the vibes, I love the environment, but like, I know that I could never live there. Okay, cool. That is all information for me. Another example, I went to school at the University of Arizona, which is in Tucson, and I have so many friends, like literally a handful of my best friends that live in the Scottsdale area. I love it there. Another place that brings out this side of me that's just like, it's giving like stay-at-home, hot, rich housewife, right? Because in Scottsdale, the things to do are like go out to nice restaurants, you dress up, you lay by the pool, you go shopping. Besides that, there's not much to do. So it's great when I go and visit my friends because that's what we do. We look nice, we go out to restaurants, we have great conversations, we'll take walks outside and look at the beautiful homes, we'll walk around the beautiful outdoor malls because they are stunning. But, okay, when I come back home, I'm like, okay, I could never live there because I would be bored out of my fucking mind. I love all those things. Truly, those things are like pillars in my life. I love shopping, I love looking good, I love laying out, I love being tan. But at the end of the day, I need more. So when I was in Miami, it gave me a little bit of everything. And why I love Miami, the first time that I was there was back in, I want to say it was like 2021. And whenever I tell people this story, it's so funny because the first thing that people bring up is like, how was Miami? Were you out till like 4 or 5 a.m.? Did you go to these clubs? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't do any of that because that's just not who I am as a person, okay? And Austin really made me realize how much I value spirituality, how much I value my physical temple, which is my body, how much I value my wellness routines and all of that, right? But when I took myself on this trip to Miami, girl, I had an itinerary. I was like, we're going to wake up every morning before the sunrise. We're going to go to the beach. We're going to do our meditation. At the time, I remember I was doing a Deepak Chopra 21-day challenge, which I love. I woke up every day, went to the beach, did my meditation. Then I would get a coffee at my cute hotel. I'm pretty sure that I stayed at, I believe it was the Shelbourne on Miami Beach. Such a vibe. I would walk to a workout. I would walk to either Pilates. I did my first berries class, which, oh my God, I was like obsessed. Like the red lights, and I felt so sexy. Then I would walk my ass home. Okay, so at that point, I'm like, I got my personal development in. I got my workout in because you're walking so much, because I was on South Beach and I didn't have a car. And then during the day, I would go to the ocean, or I would lay at the pool. I had my little healthy Trader Joe's salads that I would bring in. That's another thing. I would stock up and go to Trader Joe's and get all my like healthy things for breakfast. Like, I really did this very strategically. And then for dinners, I would either take myself out to dinner, or at the time, this was right before I was going to launch my business on Amazon. So I'd made some friends, and a few of them lived in Miami. So if I wasn't taking myself out to dinner, I would go out to dinner with them. And then at the end of the night, I would reflect. Like, it was very me. It was very intentionally me. I did not drink once because I'm not a big drinker. I did not go out once. One, because I didn't really have people to go out with, because my friends that do live there were working. And I'm pretty sure that I was there for either like a solid week or like a Monday through Friday situation. I can't really remember. But it's funny because whenever I tell people, my first Miami experience, they automatically revert to like the partying and going out and staying up late and like really the chaotic craziness of Miami, which, makes me realize how in tune I am. And I'm not easily swayed by people because I know where my focus is. I know where my intention is. So even on this trip, I intentionally planned it as if I was waking up in my daily routine, and like every day I would be waking up and like, this is my life in Miami. So what did I do every day? I spent a solid 5 days there. And so I woke up in the mornings, which, let me tell you something about this. I am not someone who just naturally wakes up at a certain time. I've never in my life had that capability or had that gift. I think it's literally the coolest thing in the world when people are like, oh yeah, I don't use an alarm clock. I just like naturally wake up at 6. Oh my God, that would be my dream. Like, how cool is that? But let me tell you something. Every day that I was in Miami, my body was waking up at 6:45 on the dot. 6:45. It was like, bitch, we're ready to go. Let's get this day going. I was in awe. So there were so many signs that just proved to me, because I already knew like this is my next place. Like, I already knew that this is the next city that I'm going to be living in, because I can see the expansion of my life. I have the foresight. I know that my partner's there. I know that he's working there. I know that I'm going to be living with him very shortly, like all of these things, right? But I had so many signs in this ideal environment. One of those being I was just waking up at 6:45, right? So I would wake up, I would have my little morning routine, and I set up my day so that I could thrive in this environment. This is really, really important. This is where the Virgo energy in me really shines. I took my ass to Trader Joe's. I got my chia seeds. I got my coconut water. I got my eggs to hard boil them. Like, I got all my things that I needed to set myself up on a positive note starting my day. This is so important because if you are anything like me, I'm very, very sensitive to environments. My Cancer rising can automatically go into freak out mode and be like, you're not going to be able to sleep the first night or two because this is a new environment. And what if it's unsafe? Do whatever it is that you need to do in order to make your body feel safe in this new environment. So for me, that is bringing along my rituals with me. I did my journal speak every day. I had my, morning beverages, and I had my breakfast that I made at home, and I did all of my routine things because that allows me to feel really, really safe in these environments. And again, when you have that structure in a new environment, you're so much more open to those connections and those downloads and those basically like the answers that need to be revealed to you about this environment that you're in? Is it for you? Is it not for you? What is it bringing out in you? Do you like what it's bringing out in you? Do you not like what it's bringing out in you? Are you ready for what it's bringing out in you? All of these things are so important if you are looking to transition the environment that you're in and move to somewhere else. So I would have my morning and I scheduled Pilates classes every day. And let me tell you something, these Pilates classes, top fucking tier, the most beautiful, the most intense, the best classes I've ever been to in my life. Austin knew what's up when it came to Pilates, and now that I've left, I feel like they have 10 times more studios and like places open. It's insane. But these girls were fine as fuck. They knew exactly what they were doing. They were top tier. You think you're hot shit? Girl, just go to Miami, okay? Because these girls will bring your ass to another level. If you are like me and you're like a health and wellness girly, that is a place to be. So I started off my day, doing my morning routines, my morning rituals, and going to a workout. This is exactly what I would do anywhere else that I was living, okay? And then throughout the day, I would go on walks or I would explore areas. The point of this trip for me was not, I need to find my apartment, I need to do this, I need to do that. I definitely came in with a lot of plans and definitely a little more sense of urgency. And when I was there, because I felt so aligned, because I felt truly so feminine, I have never felt this free in my life. And listen, I'm 30 years old, okay? I was like, what's urgent? Nothing's urgent. I'm going to be back. And so having that knowing, having that certainty of this is my home now and I will be back and I will get to do everything and anything that I want to do. But I want to focus on what is my everyday life going to be like? Okay. What am I doing? How can I make this very, very simple for me and not make it harder than it needs to be, not make it more chaotic than it needs to be? And so the trip was filled with fun dates, like things that I was just like manifesting out of nowhere. I got taken out twice by provider ass men. Let me tell you that. Okay, that is something that I am fully open to, fully available to in my life. I am ready for my husband. I am ready to be a partner. I see that as a job title that I'm so looking forward to stepping into. And being there, I'm like, oh my God, once I'm here, I'm going to be going on dates left and right with top tier, high quality men. So having that just manifest literally out of like thin air was so fun and so great. There were so many little serendipitous things that happened, so many signs that I saw, so many places that made me feel so at home. Going to Equinox in West Palm Beach, which is obviously not in Miami, but going to the one in Brickell, seeing the Soho House at Miami Beach. All of these places are places that truly make me feel so much like myself. They are beautiful spaces. They are rich in beauty and aesthetics, and the people there, are high quality people. And so I have always known that I like to put myself in environments that are high quality, high vibe, rich in aesthetics, because that is what makes me feel good. And that's not an entitlement thing. That's simply a preference of mine. And everyone has different preferences, But in Miami specifically, there are so many places that are just, they're so well done. And you can tell that there's so much intention everywhere you are, from the Pilates studios to the gyms, to the coffee shops, to the restaurants. Like, everything is just so intentional, and I appreciate that so much because I am someone that lives with so much intention. So on top of being in these beautiful spaces that not only made me feel really, really good, but they challenged me, they pushed me. This is really, really important because you can have two truths exist at once, okay? I can feel really good in a Pilates class, but I can also be like, damn, these women that are surrounding me are pushing me and challenging me to become an even better version of myself. That is not me being comfortable. That's me owning the safety and leveling the fuck up. I have known for quite a while that Miami was the next best place for me because I graduated from Austin. I knew that I was not leveling up anymore in my life. And being someone who is constantly looking to evolve, to grow, to level up, to become the next best version of myself, I want to surround myself with people and I want to put myself in environments that allow me to do that. That is so, so, so important. So if you are stagnant in your life, there's a reason why. There's a reason why you're not able to progress. There's a reason why you're not evolving. There's a reason why you're not, hitting that next level in your journey. Okay? We always want to be leveling up. We always want to be becoming better, hotter, wiser, richer, smarter. Like, come on. We always want to be that next best version of ourselves. And being there really allowed me to tap into that energy. On top of that, my middle name is Joy because this is the Joyride podcast. And everywhere that I was, I saw joy. On a sign, on a bus, in my Airbnb, the Wi-Fi network was like joyous unit. I would see out of the corner of my eye joy. And so that was another sign of like, I am meant to be here. And I think what's really, really cool about noticing and really feeling into a space is we can ask for those physical signs. I had asked for a few before I went on the trip, and there was one that I forgot about. I asked God for I got this amazing sign of a penguin that I had asked for maybe like a week and a half before the trip. I had asked for the sign of a penguin, and the next day I had seen on someone's Instagram story that I follow, like an influencer, she had posted a stuffed animal penguin for her dog. And I was like, okay, God, that's cute. Like, we love a sign. Thank you for, affirming me that I'm, on the right path and blah, blah, blah. All the things that I asked for, right? But then on Valentine's Day, one of my best friends in our group chat sent a photo of her and her daughter at this aquarium that they went to. And in this photo, there are like 30 penguins. And I was like, holy fucking shit, God, this is such a good sign. So I asked for that sign. And sometimes I'm just like, still like, okay, I need more. So before I went to Florida, I think this might have been like the morning of or the day before, I was like, God, send me like a big pink bow. And the thing about signs and asking for a physical sign is they're so fun because when you don't have a lot of like tangible physical proof or something, it's really fun to ask for a sign and to see when and how and where the universe is going to deliver it to you. So the first full day that I was visiting my friend in South Florida, she is in an area called Stewart, which, who cares about the details? It's like 2 hours north of Miami, whatever. Started off my trip, not in Miami, but still in like the South Florida area. So we were out to lunch and we were walking back to her car, and in the window in the display was this huge pink bow. And I was like, Juliana, oh my God. And of course I tell her this story. And so I already felt and I already knew like, my body is just able to like this sigh of relief when I am in Florida. I have been going to Florida for years. Again, I've had that knowing for quite some time, but my little brother moved to Sarasota a few years ago. So I've been coming to Florida more frequently over the past few years. And I just love this feeling of ease and peace that I feel within my physical body whenever I'm there. But that was just such a cool sign. So we can ask the universe, we can ask the creator for these physical signs if we are still a little unsure of really trusting in our own intuition and trusting in our own guidance system. But for me, those signs are kind of just like fun little cherries on top because I really, really trusted my body. And again, this is because I'm so grounded in myself, because the environment that I'm living in right now is not stimulating at all for me. So I put a lot of focus and a lot of attention on doing the things that make me feel good. And again, I have to do a lot more things in this environment than I will be doing when I move to Miami, because this environment is not aligned for me. And so you can either look at your own environment and see that as a downfall or see that as a negative thing, or you can use this time to really strengthen the connection that you have with yourself and develop these practices and develop these rituals and really start to develop this foundation and know that, okay, these are the things that I do to make myself feel really, really good, so that when you're put in an environment that actually is aligned for you, you're going to become, it's just going to become so much easier for you to connect with this true sense of, oh, this environment makes me feel really, really good, and all of these things are here to help supplement. And so being in this ideal environment where I truly felt so beautiful. Like, I felt like I literally looked like a different person. I was at a girlfriend's place Saturday night, and she was like, Rebekah, you literally looked different in Miami. I'm like, I know. I felt so much more beautiful. I felt so much more vibrant. I love the vibes and I love the energy of Miami, and especially with this huge love for Latin culture there. I have always loved Latin music and just the vibes of it, but being there is this joy that radiates in the air. There is this just energy of happiness and love and just fulfillment, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with this. I cannot wait to be living in this. And then on top of that, being a Jewish woman, there are Jewish symbols and monuments everywhere. Around every corner there's Chabads and synagogues and beautiful just monuments and statues. And it really made me very, very emotional because, really strengthening my connection to Judaism has been something that's been on my heart for about the past year. And it actually was one of the newer values that came to the forefront for me when I was transitioning out of Austin. All of a sudden I was like, I want to be really involved in the Jewish community. I did not give a flying fuck about this at any point of me living in Austin. I just wasn't ready for that in my life. And now that I'm ready to be someone's partner, I'm ready to be a wife, I envision myself, going to study Torah and going to Kabbalah classes and hosting Shabbat dinner and really immersing myself in the Jewish community. So being in Miami, being Jewish there is not only accepted, but it's so widely celebrated. And that was something that was another huge sign for me. Oh my God, I'm in this environment that allows me to be, my authentic self, I come from a family that's they're Jewish. I grew up in a Reformed synagogue. I had a bat mitzvah. I went to Sunday school. I went to Hebrew school, and we celebrate the holidays, but being here, I don't really go to temple. I don't have a Jewish community. And so being there, so many things that I had written down on my list of, these are high priority things that I want to experience in my life. And not just experience, but I want these things to be a part of my lifestyle. Being there, everything felt like this is so possible for you because it's literally all around you. That is so important, to be in a space where the things that you want are attainable and you don't have to work so fucking hard day in and day out. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't show up for yourself, because you have to. You have to show up for yourself. You have to believe in the dreams that you have, the vision that you have. You have to always be putting forth effort. But as someone who's felt like they've worked really, really hard and has not gotten the returns that I truly expected for how hard and how much effort I've put in, it's so nice to be somewhere where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get what I want here. Because in 5 days, so many things were happening for me just because I simply decided, I want this. I want to feel this. I want to be taken care of. I want to be provided for. I want to have this type of experience. And it just happened. And I will say that this has been a very, very long road to be here, to get here. And I'm so grateful for the previous environments that I have been in, because I've learned so much about myself, and I've learned how I have shifted over time and what environments now truly serve me. And so being in Miami, knowing coming back, okay, I am ready to be here. I am ready to support myself here, and I'm ready to make this work, right? It was so important for me because I was able to see how much I have shifted over the years, and I was thinking to myself, what other city, what other place could allow me to feel like this? And I've been to a lot of these bigger cities, and I know that I'm a city girl. I know that I don't want to be in the suburbs right now. I don't know if that will change in a few years. I don't really care. All that I'm focused on is being in my ideal environment for what is going to serve me in a positive way right now. And out of all the cities, I'm like, nothing works but this. And so having this trip only confirmed that the steps that I've been taking to get here have been working. And, we just expect God to show us all the steps at once. I want to get here. I want to have this job. I want to do this. Okay, God, show me steps 1 through 15. I just need to know how I'm going to get there. We have to trust in ourselves. We have to trust in knowing that the steps will be revealed to you. And now that I've had, those first few steps and I've been there and I've seen and witnessed firsthand how good I feel there, coming back here, I definitely had a very big energy dip. Last week was a very hard week for me because I'm like, oh my God, I'm back in an environment that's not my environment. And so I'm taken back to my quote unquote reality that I'm living right now. But even before I went to Miami, weeks before, I would be in the gym and I'm like, my physical body is here, but my soul is not there. I was doing so much preparation work. So once I got there, I was fully able to release, to surrender, to let myself be in that environment and to be fully received, if that makes sense. And because of that, I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is the right environment for me. But I say that because there was a lot of work that came with this. This was not just I decided a year ago I'm moving to Miami. No. This has been a long time coming. So I also want you to recognize that, there may be places that are, in that vision of yours, but maybe they're meant for you in 5 years from now, It's totally okay if you're completely happy with the environment that you're in. But with my Austin journey, Austin was amazing for me until it wasn't. It worked until it didn't. And so if you're in that position of I feel like this is really good for me right now, but I don't really know what the next environment is for me, just know that clarity will come in time, because you never want to force yourself to be somewhere that you're not ready for, because if we force ourselves to be in a position that we're not quite ready for, we're not going to be able to hold it. We're not going to be able to sustain it. I know that Miami is a beautiful, big, vibrant city. It's an expensive city, in order to be there, you got to either be making some dough or you got to be with someone that's making some dough. So, I would not have been ready for this 5 years ago when I first went there and was like, I'm moving. I literally was looking up condos back in 2021 after I went on this trip. I was like, I'm obsessed. I need to be there. I was not ready. I was not ready to let go of the Austin environment because it taught me so much. So trust in your own path and your own journey. There is no rush, because trust me, when you are in the right place, it's going to feel like there's no sense of urgency. Because when you are truly in your feminine, things are going to flow for you. Again, this is coming from someone who has spent most of their life not in their feminine. I also come from an Aries South Node. I'm used to fighting for everything that I want. I'm used to doing everything on my own because that's what felt safe for me. That's what felt comfortable for me. So I'm in a new era of my life where I'm like, oh, we are stepping into the feminine energy. And I have found an environment that is really, really supportive of what I want and what I need right now in my life. So in a nutshell, that was my Miami experience. But I hope that you got to reflect on what environment you are in right now. Is it supporting you? Is it not? There will be something coming later this month that I'm so excited for, that I'm going to be able to offer to you if you are someone that is ready to step into a new era of your life and your environment is not serving you right now. I'm not going to tell you the details right now. You're going to have to wait until next week's episode, but this is a game changer for me because it's so damn personal to what I'm moving through in my life, and I cannot wait to help guide you and support you over the next 3 months in your own journey. So you're gonna want to be a part of this. Let me tell you that. And it's going to be limited spots. It's going to be exclusive. And I'm not going to be offering anything but this. Literally, like, I'm burning my business down to create this, not just for you, but for me as well. And I seriously am like so fucking excited to bring it to you. So again, not going to share details right now because there still are some things that need to be finalized, but you will hear more very, very, very soon. But that is the end of today's episode. I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. Please share this episode with someone that you think could use this insight, could use this wisdom. I am always here for you. Make sure that you are following me on Instagram, that you stay updated with everything. Make sure that you are also subscribed to my Substack because I will be sharing more about this new offer there as well, in addition to me obviously sharing it here on the podcast. But wherever you are, I hope that you have an amazing, wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you in next week's episode. Bye!